Hey playa, mixed signals are probably the most common reasons why you tend to overthink things with your crush. So today I wanted to go over the 5 most common mixed signals that you've probably encountered and how to deal with them.
This is the Just Beats, you're watching the Just Beat.
For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh, and every single Monday through Friday, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. Now, the first common mixed signal is something that I'm sure you've heard before, and that's your crush telling you that they're not sure whether or not they like you. Being unclear on how they feel about you is pretty common, and usually the main reason for that is because your crush hasn't spent enough time around you really getting to know you. So the reason why they might spend time talking with you, joking with you, and flirting with you, but may not explicitly tell you how they feel is because they're waiting for you to make that first move. And making that first move is something I talked about earlier in the week. So if you're in that type of situation where your crush might like you, they're not really sure, they haven't really decided on their feelings, you can push them more towards yes by really investing the time in getting to know them better. The second mixed signal is them generally not responding to all of your messages. Sometimes you send them a message and immediately they respond, but then other times you could send them something and it'll sit there for days. Running into this type of situation can generally leave you confused. Why would they respond sometimes but not other times? Well, let's look at the most practical of reasons why. Sometimes they're just busy and can't really continue the conversation. Now I know what you're thinking, why didn't they just tell me that they couldn't really speak in that moment? Well, in today's day and age, people don't generally do that. They just kind of like up and walk from conversations. Another potential reason is that they just got bored with the conversation. If you're only sending messages like, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? Then obviously you're putting the burden on them to come up with something to talk about. So you might want to switch your strategy if you want to have an effective conversation with them. Or let's just be honest, they probably don't want to talk to you anymore. So instead of sending them a barrage of text messages, try talking to them in person. I think if they see you face to face, it'll be a lot easier for them to carry a conversation. The third mixed signal is that they tell you that they do like you, but they're just not ready to date or they don't want to date you. So why would a person say they like you if they're not ready to date? This is a confusing one, but if you really look at it, it might not be something that you're doing. It might just be that that person may not feel like they can handle school and after school activities and a relationship. Sometimes we just have too much going on, so trying to balance a relationship within it all can just be overbearing. Or some other potential reasons might be that they're too nervous or their parents just won't allow them to date. The best way to really find out where that person sits is to talk to them about it. If you know that they like you, then you've already kind of set a threshold where the two of you have feelings for each other. Now it's just a matter of figuring out how to make those feelings turn into something more. And that can only happen with a conversation. The fourth mixed signal that you might encounter is that they talk differently to you when you're doing it through text and when you're doing it in person. Now this is pretty true for most people. Through text, it's way easier to be confident, to make jokes, to just let loose. But when you're in person, there are other people watching, and having that face-to-face interaction can be a bit intimidating. And in person, your crush might be more shy or awkward or just not as talkative as they appear to be. So what they're waiting for you to do is to bring that same comfort level that you've created through text into real life with them. If you feel like there's two different personas that they're carrying, try to just be as real as possible, as open as possible when you're talking in person, just like you are through text. Try your best not to judge them for the difference of their personalities, because people always act different when they're closer to someone. So if you can rebuild the same closeness that you have online and do that in person, you'll have a much better connection with them. And the fifth mixed signal that you might encounter is that your crush or the friends of your crush start to ask you who you have a crush on. Now this might draw a few red flags for you and get you to start thinking, are they asking me who I like because they like me back? And I think the best thing to do here is if someone directly asks you who you like, don't ever be afraid to be honest and open about it. A lot of times when our crush is trying to figure out who we like, we try to throw them off path by saying we like someone else or that we don't like anyone at all. But all that really does is hurt your chances with them, because once they hear that you don't like them, they're going to start to turn off that switch in their own mind of them liking you. But if you feel like they're just asking not because they like you, but just because they're curious, don't be afraid to be honest about how you feel. The worst that can happen is that some interaction happens between you and your crush and you know where you truly stand with them, rather than sitting, overthinking, and waiting for something to potentially, maybe, possibly happen. It's much better to lie in the results of your actions rather than to lie in wait. So if you're receiving a lot of different mixed signals from your crush, don't hesitate to talk to them more, to get to know them, to even ask them out. Don't rest on mixed signals hoping that things are going to resolve themselves. You need to take action and you need to make something happen. What do you think though? Do you receive a lot of mixed signals from your crush, leaving you to wonder, do they like me or not? Leave your comments down below and we'll talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now remember, turn on the notification bell so you can receive updates every single time I post a new video. And on that note, guys, I'll catch you next week. As always, love and peace.